Right, sound. Well, Tristan has just tangled himself in his wires. But we've basically got, I think it's the 7th now today, and we've got Tristan Barnes in today. Really big trip for him, like a 4-hour drive. Lives somewhere in a foreign country down south somewhere, but not obviously up north. But really good effort for him, obviously kind of coming up here. And there's, to be fair, there's so much shit that we could talk about. We're going to have to, if anything, condense it into 30 minutes in all fairness. To say he's a YouTube phenomenon, not a non-one, I can't say it. Say he's a big time on YouTube and filming. He's been a bit nervous for this now, and I was not expecting that at all. Sweating. He's just been to the gym, put a session.
You make me nervous.
And he's coming in and sweating profusely. So, for example, as a starting point, I think the easiest thing to do, because I'm sure you'll have a great intro. Who are you? What do you do?
Whoa. So I always like imagine this as like imagining like you know when you go foreign country like Uber, what would you like if they said, "Oh, what do you do?" It's like, I don't know what I would say. I think I just make myself look like a twat on camera, and it is literally that. Or if I wanted to go into conversation, I'd say I'm an online coach and I do social media.
Can you see what I mean by he could introduce himself in a strange way? So, yeah, basically, Tristan, obviously, he was... Do you know what? I'll probably start this off. It's a little bit of an intro into the first question. So, when Tristan kind of reached out, he basically was not in a position to qualify for business consultancy. So, it was a very, very, very different one because, again, everyone in here knows, like, my opinion on, like, I'm not going to get someone to pay our fees if I know that they're not going to have the right type of potential or if they're not the right type of fit. But I was basically had a conversation with this guy and I was like, right, he's got obviously massive charisma, he's got great engagement, he's got a really good captivated audience. But again,
handsome as well.
But it's beg to differ. But he's obviously not in the right position. And I basically sat there and I think about it and I said, like, look, mate, like, I wouldn't normally do this, but I genuinely think that, like, look, if you can find this capital, then I'm gonna blow this shit up for you. And it come down to a lot of trust. And that was actually my first question. What I'm gonna say today is, how did you feel with your initial point of investing into what we are doing when you didn't actually even have that money in the first place?
For me, what sold it was because I was at a point where business was going good. Like I wasn't ever in a bad situation, but could always be better, and I knew that as well. But it's like, for me, I'm not a businessman. I am myself. So it's like I always had to have someone tell me business-wise what to do. And it was then obviously applied. We had that conversation. And what fucking sold me straight away was the fact that you were like, look, fucking stop bullshit around. We'll sort the money bit out later. Get signed up. And then I obviously looked at the whole sort of video process and all of that. Started applying that straight away. And clients started coming in. And it was like that instant, without even like paying a single penny, the initial investment was there. And then for me, obviously I like asked my parents, it's like they were like trying to explain to a 40 and 50-year-old that I need to spend this money. They were like, it's not even fucking worth it. But in my head, I was already sold. And I'm the type of person that if I'm sold already, I'm going to do it no matter what they say. And they, in the end, said, look, you're going to do it no matter what anyway. And I already was doing it for a week by the I told them. And I already had clients coming in. So I was like, look, I've done it. And I've got 7 more clients. And like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah.
That's what I said to him, though. I was like, yeah, I'm never, because God, you hear shock horror stories of people saying, yeah, take loans out or like fucking put it on your credit card and all this stuff. Like, I'm not like that. And there's hundreds of people who know me and the amount of contacts of me. And I'm like, I'm massive on like, look, if someone's got the right type of capital and framework, then yeah, I'm happy to take the money and work on the business and turn it into something. But with Tristan, it was a huge risk. But I literally turned around to him and said like, and I was like, I was like, look, I am 99% sure that you are going to get return on investment in the first month and you did it in the first week. So like, and obviously that's when I was like, right, fuck me. I'm glad that I've called this well, because I was like basically looking at it going like, look, the engagement's there, the audience there, but the only thing was obviously was missing, like really missing was kind of the professionalism and the program design and everything around that. And we're still not even close to releasing half of the ammo. Like even for example, the next phase of release, I'm already thinking like I'll have a next plan on a marketing campaign. And in reality, like what Tristan's done in a very short space of time has been quite fucking phenomenal, genuinely. And don't get me wrong, like yeah, he likes to have a laugh and a joke and everything else on that side, but like he knows what I'm like. If I come in and I lay down the law and I'm like, look, this is what we're fucking doing, this is what we need to deliver, he's come in and he's turned it around straight away, which has obviously been massive to see.
That's one thing, is like, I don't know how to say it, I hate it, and I know the guys out there will say it, is I'm waiting for you to say something that's wrong. And it's like, you'll say something to do it, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do that, I want to do it. And then I do it, and it's like, right, and I'm like, fuck, he's right again. And now it's gotten to a point where I'm like, you could tell me to fucking go eat shit, and I'll go do it. I'll be like, mate, how much salt do you want me to have with that? It's because I would trust every single thing you say, because every single thing you've told me to do has worked. And it's like, now there's that sort of like, I find with me, I find it hard to respect people from the start. And unless they show me that sort of respect as well, like the sort of like allowing me to sign up before, that was like the one little piece. And then the whole sort of like every single thing you've told me to do, it's worked out initially. It's like, mate, not to blow smoke up his own ass, but yeah, the respect is there from myself to you. It's like, you could tell me to do anything, I'll just do it.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like in that situation there, I literally got, I can't remember, were I in Dubai? Or this was before Dubai?
What, when signing up or the other day?
I can't remember. I don't know, but you basically, I just went, right, just get everything going. And I just
no, you were here.
I can't remember. I just literally went, get everything going, like, we're just going to fucking crack on. And at that point, he had like a bit of money and stuff like that, and I said, I'm not even bothered. I'm not even bothered. And the thing is, I got it going, and we obviously showed that within a week, and then he obviously started his first payment. But for me, it weren't about that. It was like, look, yeah, it's a risk, but it's not a risk at the same time, because I have full belief in the potential of what he can do. And when you look at what we've done in such, we'll go into like more depth on it in a minute, but when you look at what we've achieved in such a small space of time, like, what would you say that the biggest thing is that you've learned in this initial phase? Because we are literally still in phase one.
How would I put this? Not respect myself more, but appreciate what I'm worth. Because obviously at the start, I was charging very, very, very little, and I was trying to give more and more and more, which meant sort of it was that sticking point of like, how much do you give for what you're charging? And then it's like when you said, look, you're worth fucking more than that. And it was like, I was always the type of person in business to never increase the price unless someone told me I was worth more, because I wanted someone else to appreciate the value more. And then when I'd done it, obviously, yeah, you're going to get a few people dropped off, but a lot were saying, like, mate, you're charging nowhere near enough. So for me, it's like the biggest thing I've learned is respect your time more than anything else. Because it's like, if you're taking on clients left, right, and rhubarb, it's like you're not going to have any time for the other clients. But if you respect yourself and what you're actually worth, then you've got more time for the clients that actually want to do what you tell them to do. And that's where I'm at a point now, is like every single client I know will do what I say. And it makes me at a point where I can wake up and I'm like, no, I actually want to do these check-ins. Because sometimes before you have those clients, you're like, oh, fucking hell, they're not going to do what I'm telling them to do. And I literally sat on a call the other week, and it was like, mate, you might as well just leave, because you're not doing what I'm saying. So what's the point of me sitting here wasting 6 minutes of my time and 6 minutes of your time? I've cancelled everything. Wish you all the best, but see you later now. Yeah,
it's like having the confidence and authority to make those decisions. It's like when people, like people are always shocked, like even people in my team, and I'll turn around and go, I'm going to stop working with this client, or I'm going to stop that account, or I'm not going to take this person on. And people are like, what? But it's that much money? And I said, yeah, but it's not about that. It's about the relationship. It's about the outcome and the deliverables, what can be made. It's not just about obviously kind of getting that sale. And obviously Tristan now, he's in a position where he's literally turning people down because he's so clear on exactly who he wants to work with, and that's the most important thing. And so obviously in this, he has, so we'll dive into it a bit more in a second in terms of what he's actually achieved so far, but like all it's come down to so far has been absolutely clear on who he is, how to use his content strategy from a professional standpoint, how to actually deliver a really, really effective results-driven program, how to even manage his time and managing, like, for example, call timings, which are coming in fucking thick and fast, like 11 yesterday or something. Then obviously set up times for clients, routine management. Then he's obviously got all his automations, all his systems, all his processes, and getting used to this. And suddenly you go from thinking, right, he's got 30, like, for example, £100 clients to 40, 50 high ticket, and he's finding it really easy to achieve. And it's obviously been a learning curve, but that's a common case when people come and work with us, because everything's so new to them. But obviously, especially for you, mate, like you've integrated into my team massively, and obviously everything that we do is one-to-one. And like for example, that's probably been a big thing for you, because if I'd have sent you fucking 50 videos or something like that, you would have been like, oh yeah, whatever.
Could have got the first YouTube kind of thing, yeah.
And it's like with Tristan now, it's like he knows that he's got all these people behind him, and it's like, and you can clearly see that there's great synergy with our lot and his lot. And when you've got an enjoyment to the process like this right now, like obviously you've got to trust the process, you've got to enjoy the process. When someone trusts the process, like he's just said, and you also enjoy it on both sides in a synergistic fashion, that's where really magic things obviously can happen. That's the trajectory of where you're going now.
Yeah. I think the main thing for me is like, probably a lot of people see it, and I do joke around and I do have a bit of fun. Same with you guys, like in the office, it's a good laugh. But I know when someone says, look, flick that switch, work time, everything else just doesn't matter. And I'm the same at home. It's like when I'm with Keane, he probably sees the fun side of me and all of this. But when I'm alone, it's like anyone who fucking walks in my room, tell them to fuck off straight away because I've got work to do. And it's like people don't see that. That's off camera. On camera, you're the lovable people. Like, you got to have fun. Yeah, obviously you're not dickhead off camera, but it's like knowing that you guys are the same as me, where it's like you have fun, but then when you jump on a call, it's like, right, call time. After the call, get on with work. It's very sort of similar to how I sort of am, whereas it's not just all fun and games, or it's not all serious. Because if you guys were all serious like all the time, I'd be like, oh, man, it's like going like that. Like, I couldn't do that. Like, it's got to be a bit of banter every now and then, but it's like, but you know, no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to get the work done, and you have to get the work done, otherwise you get left behind.
Yeah, and obviously it knows now, and most of my clients are like, I have just a very straight up approach. Like, I don't really bat around the bush. It's like, look, it's a constant objective driven process for me, because otherwise you get left in this middle ground of kind of what's going on. Whereas like it's for me, it's like, if there's a problem, we solve it. Right. Yeah. If there's not, if everything's going really, really well, how can we make it better? What is next? What's the next move? What's the next point of management? Like, for example, the situation with him was like, right, fuck me, this is blowing up that fast. It's like, I can't handle it. And I just went that in 3 steps, and it was like, all right, sound. And so that was like content covered, like helping him support in different areas of the business. And then suddenly it's like, oh shit, sweet. So if I obviously invest, and this is what I mean. So he's gone from, initially been thinking, fuck me, I want this full team, but I've got to invest that kind of capital into it, to getting a return on investment within literally a week, to the point where he's now investing more back into the business, support it, because of the rate that it's obviously scaling at the moment. And that's just the potential that I saw, and it's obviously coming to fruition now.
I think that's the main thing for me. Is like, I always was afraid. I love spending money, but it's like that when you would have to do it on like a monthly basis, it's like, you know, you got to keep doing it. Whereas like you could spend good $3-4 grand going shopping quite happily, and you're like, oh, fuck me, that hurt after. But when you know you've got to keep doing it, but you always keep seeing that investment. Like Keane, my videographer, he's now on a salary. At the start, I was like, oh, fuck me, I can't really like, you can't like explain that to yourself, and explaining that to someone else, like, why would you do that? You can just film yourself. But now that I've seen the return that it gives you, it's like, I could not have Keane not with me.
Yeah, you won't have time to it.
He makes my life so much easier, and I'd like, good job he's not in here, because I fucking love the geezer to bits. Like, he's become my best mate now. But it's like, without him, I would be crumbling right now. Without you guys, I would be crumbling, because there's no way I could handle all of that load on my own, because I am still that small boy from St Ives, but I'm trying to become something bigger. But you have to have that team around you that's going to be able to, like, if you can't handle this, you do that, you do that, you do that. And it's nice to sort of see that everyone isn't like, oh, I'm going to have to take on Tristan's work now. It's like with the circle situation, you're probably fucking like battering me on about it. It's like, spoke to Rob today. I'm very like hands-on. It's like someone needs to be with me there. They're sort of there to say, look, do this, do that, and I'll do it. If someone just tells me, I forget it in 5 minutes time, because I'm just like, that is how I am. But if someone's there to run me through it, I'll be like, I'll do it straight away. And
that's why I have the agency is all one-to-one, and it's like specific in sectors. And it's the best way I can describe it is like, there's been times where something's come up and I'm like, oh, sound, right, I've just hired someone. Like, I'll just like, if there's a job that needs filling, and I'll just hire, and I'll hire, because for me it's exactly the same situation as Tristan there, where he has to basically invest to help him free up more time. It's the same for me within the agency. If I did not have all these staff, everyone would just be coming to me, right? So for the next thing for me, it's like, right, I'm best when I'm innovatively thinking, right? So the best way I could describe this so far, what Tristan has done has not even really been that much clinical, innovative thinking in any way, shape or form. I have not built a specific overarching marketing campaign for him like I've just done for Ben Bray this week, for example. Like, he's just nailing the basics and the decisions of my own experiences. Like, for example, when you look at the growth of our company now, I'm like, right, I need an account manager and a client relationships manager. So I have less kind of people coming to me. So when I do get into those conversations with clients, I'm just thinking about where is their future rather than what is happening with their business, which we've already got a framework and structure to build. I'm like, right, we've got that going now. Sweet, right? How do I decide and what do I build moving forwards? And that's when I perform best. And it's the same as Tristan right now. He's not going to perform the best as an online coach if he's having to fuck about trying to film and edit and sort all his content and obviously other areas of his business. He just needs to be focused on being the guy who's behind the camera and obviously being the guy who's behind that Loom video, delivering and obviously hitting sales calls and setups and stuff on that side. And that's how you grow the business.
Doing what you do good. And then there's no point me being my own accountant because I don't know anything about that. It's like you hire someone else to do it for you because you're not the best. Yeah, that's the situation we're in now. It's like I realise I'm not the best at everything as much as I'd like to fucking admit I am.
No, mate, I've not got a clue about fucking. If someone were going to turn around to me and say build a CRM or build email marketing automations or copyright, I wouldn't have a clue. That's not my job. And it's really good for obviously with Tristan's age and where he is. Like he's mature, like he's maturing very, very fast, but not losing the fun part to him. And that's my next topic with him is like, how did you feel when you started moving from just being the entertainer to the guy who's still an entertainer but adding value from a coaching sense at the same time?
In a non-cheesy way, it made me realise more what I was worth. It was like, I think I started social media and I went into a stage of like, I was almost like not being like made fun of, but it's like people laugh at you. Because you're funny, like entertaining, but there's no that real business side and people don't take you seriously. But it's now I'm sort of like, I can be funny, but that's not the type of, like I was filming a video the other day with Kian and it was like, we're in Plymouth filming only British food for the day. And I think I said to him like halfway through, I was like, fuck this, we're binning this off, this isn't me. And it was like, we literally just scrapped the video there. So
you're doing what? You're only, yeah.
So we're only, do you know the picture of me in like the Union Jack suit?
Oh, yeah.
Like I full send everything. We were like, look, we'll go British, like only eating British foods for the day. Got a British suit, all of that. Filmed about two videos, and I was like, this isn't me. I was like completely revamped, and now we've sort of got. Have you seen the new series?
No, I've not seen it. No.
So the other day, I was looking at sort of like what I wanted to do and why I started social media was to document my life, and it's as simple as that. But I could never document it myself because you got then edit and all of that. But now I've got Kian. We're doing a series called Tandem Whammed.
See, back, can you see what I mean? That there is, it's entertaining, and you can see that in the name, but it's also got a journey around it. Yeah. So it's a combination between two, which is, that was literally the first thing that I said to him. I said, like, if you can bring an element of entertainment with value to your content, and obviously Amy can help you out with that, like what she does, then you're going to blow this shit up, mate, because you've got huge buy-in, like very similar to Ben Bray when he started. Like he didn't obviously have an entertainment factor, but people just enjoyed him and people liked him. And that's one of the biggest things, like having actual personal buy-in behind a company is everything. Like people buy into you personally before they actually buy into the product. And people make, for example, 30,000 followers or whatever you've got now. Like those... 32. Yeah, get fucked. I got 10k. But basically, fucking followers doing anything. But basically, like in essence, you might have thousands of people who might watch 3, 4, 5 months worth of content, and it's like right now, like you need to get numbers to your page. Like you can't be boring. Like don't get me wrong. Like I've personally just gone from. I've got my professional account, which is a business, and I don't know if I've got you on my new personal account.
You do. I was quite happy when you sent me on that. I was like,
so yes. I've got a new personal account, but like for obviously it's restricted, and for me, it's like I've done this for such a long time now. Like for 10 years, I've been doing this, and I'm in a very different situation, Tristan. Like I've got to be professional in a sense. I do have to be, and if people know me as a person, they know that I'm not. Like obviously the coach consultant, I'll speak and I'll talk my opinion, but I can't really act as who I am, and that's the difference between kind of my content and obviously what Tristan can do. But he's now seeing that, look, yeah, it's about him being himself, but it's also about showing what he knows within the product, because it's the personal engagement that will obviously lead to more people seeing the value of the content.
Yeah.
And that's the key to it all. And that's obviously where we're at right now. But obviously, like, don't get me wrong, like, we've obviously built company frameworks, CRM systems, nurturing, like, advertisement for what his pages is. A big fucking one for me is going to be retargeting the people who's downloaded paid for his resources online before, because in essence, they are the warmest leads known to man, because they obviously wanted something associated with training from him before. And obviously, you're talking a good few thousand emails there. So, like that, genuinely, I'm actually more concerned about releasing that email marketing campaign than I am excited because of his capacity and his rate of growth. Because, in essence, what Tristan's done so far is he's replaced a whole client base from low ticket to high ticket.
Yeah. A
whole client base in that, like, it's unseen. In the space of time that we've been working together, he has literally got rid of anyone who's been, it's not even about getting rid of, he's literally replaced every single fucking client. So, for example, if you'd imagine, like, don't get me wrong, obviously that means a lot of clients have dropped off, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because in 4 weeks' time, if he's going to get this set right, if you do the numbers, the level of lead generation, sign-up conversion that he's had in this space of time, if you couple that with, again, stuff like lead generation releases, community platform releases, email marketing releases, and his current level sign-up process, you're talking double, triple, and quadruple income within a fucking 20-week period.
See, I don't know whether this is weird, but I see that as income's nice and all of that, but the main thing for me is like the actual results.
And the quality of the client you're working with now as well.
That's what's like the biggest thing for me is like I used to wake up sort of on check-ins and think, this guy's definitely not fucking filled out what I've not needed him to do. Now every single check-in, I'm like, no, mate, I'm really, really happy with this one. And I think that's the biggest sort of like standout for me. Is like, yeah, obviously money is a byproduct of it. And that was always the main thing. Like me and Dad always had a chat when I sort of started. He said, like, how far are you willing to like hold off for this? And I said, I'm genuinely willing to go 5 years without any return there because it's what I wanted to do. And he was like thinking, years. It took 2 weeks to get 2 salaries and like 20k. I was like,
to pay your family's wages in the next 4 weeks.
Oh, fucking
so you could pay their pensions.
But it's like a complete tangent now. Completely where I was going. Where was I going? For me, the money is a byproduct, but the fact that now obviously clients are paying more, but they're putting in more effort, so double the amount of results are coming out from that. Like you could have 50 clients at low ticket, and you would get 1 or 2 maybe fucking like good transformations. You have 50 high ticket clients, you know, a good like 40, 45 of those are going to be putting the work in because there's more money on the line there. It's like thinking, why would I be paying this if I'm not going to put the work in? There's no point. So it's like, from my standpoint, there's more progress, there's more happy clients, there's more happy me. Because I said, look, if you're not making progress, you're not going to get a happy Tristan on the line here. Like, you got to put some fucking work in. And then it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just in a happier spot because I'm waking up every day actually wanting to do check-ins.
Yeah, when you've got job satisfaction, it's like for me, like I'm so specific in who I want to work with. Like my brand, I'll even look at there. It's like it's not like I'm coming in and I want to work with anyone. It's like it's a professional outlet. The coach consultant is for working with people who are high performance coaches, high performance companies, or for example, the people who have the potential. Like, I don't speak about anything else because I don't really want to work one-to-one with anyone else. I've built other businesses to be able to support people at kind of lower level. And this is why it's so important to understand that, like, you've got to be absolutely obsessed with, like, your client delivery, but also have a massive understanding to the importance of company structure, marketing, and obviously everything that we do on our side. So, like, if you look at, for example, now, obviously this amount of time that we're in now, compared to before, like if everything else, what more do you understand now about systems, marketing, and business in general compared to before?
Fucking shit tons. Pardon my French mum, but Christ. It's gone from like, a lot of people probably see like online coach, social media. It's like, can you earn money from that? Can you see that? It's like, now that I realise it's Instagram is a 24/7 job. YouTube is a 24/7 job. Coaching is a 24/7 job. And every single one of those can't be done by the same person. Like emails is a 24/7 job. It has to have a whole segment of people dedicated to that. And that's the one thing I thought I could manage all of it. Do Instagram, do TikTok, do this, do that, do emails, do outreach and all of that. And I focused on coaching. And you spend that much time coaching, Jakey probably kept going on about it. I could never reply to DMs, whereas that I used to be able to like actually do. And it's like, you realise, look, once you start prioritising the things that you actually need to prioritise, you need to bring on other people for those.
Yeah. Do you know what? He's explained that in such a fucking good way, because, right, there are mentors and businesses out there which their business model is literally Instagram messaging. And I'm like, look, I've had a VA for fucking ages. For 2 years, I've probably had different bases on the page. I've not got it because I'm hammering outreach and everything else onto that side. I'm doing it because I literally, for me, I've got a choice. Do I put my time and energy in the day into clients like Tristan and everyone else that you've seen today, or do I sit on my phone messaging people on Instagram?
Trying to always get new clients and forgetting about those clients.
Yeah, because you have to have active online conversations, right? You have to. I don't care. Like, yeah, some coaches and some businesses, you can just rely on inbound inquiries. And when I was a coach, I never ever used a VA ever.
Yeah.
Right, ever. I only ever used it since I've been in business because I literally don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, for example, like people look at it in a really wrong sense of the word, and in essence, it's there to save time. You don't be the coach who comes in and abuses it and just fucking gets overseas.
You can just tell when someone's got one,
yeah. Shit. Like, whoever's going to come in and replicate you on messaging, like, they need to have an understanding of what your product is, who you are as a person, and actually have the ability to give people a bit of free help. So when you do get onto a call with them, like, it's passive, it's easy.
Yeah.
The point is to obviously kind of come in and save money, and that's like where Tristan is now. Like, first thing today is walked up and put a picture in my face of like looking at hiring a coach, and I was like, to be fair, mate, yeah, you're not gonna be far off that in any way, shape or form, and it's absolutely obviously frightening what he's done. Like, you're talking in the next 12 months, like not 12 more. I would go as far as saying that within a 2-year period from where you are right now, this potentially has a 7-figure turnover business, and looking at the trajectories of where we are right now, and obviously, I'm never going to promise that because shit can go fucking wrong. But you're talking like, he's gone from being someone who I had to sit and question, going, is this the right decision to take him on, to someone who I think potentially will be one of our highest performance clients ever. And that's how I kind of see the trajectory of this. If it's done right, and he fucking gets shit done when I tell him to get it done rather than dragging his feet, right, with certain bits, right? But for example, like, he's got the potential to go absolutely nuts with where he obviously can take it long term, mate. And that's kind of one of the last things that I'm ending on here is, how confident do you feel now with your business and your future, since obviously kind of working with us as a team? Not just me, but like as a team.
I would say even more so. I think the one reason I think I've done so well is because I had this almost stupid belief in myself from the start, is I never saw any sort of point failing. It's like, even in the fudge shop, like right at the start,
Fudge shop.
Like, because that's where it's like, it originated from there. I was working mum and dad's fudge shop, and even then they would say, look, get to a point where you're earning more from social media than you are here. I left it before I even started earning anything from there. So probably a very stupid decision, but I had this stupid belief that I was like, no matter what, I will make it. And like you said, the sort of 7-figure business, in my head, it's like 2 years is too long. Yeah. I say, give it a year and I'll be there. Because I know in my head, if you give me a time frame, it will happen. And like you've probably seen with Ben, with anyone else, social media is so big nowadays, you can literally go from 0 to 100 within a week. And it's like, if we have the processes set in place and everything sort of like ready for, if it does do that, it's game time from there, really.
It was funny when, like, I remember after the first week and it got the return on investment back, and it was like, I remember, like, I can't remember what conversation about, but it basically got into a conversation where it was like, oh, like, what happens afterwards? Like, I'll upgrade to a bigger package. And I was like, mate, I drop you down. Like, I don't, do you know what I mean? Like, once you've, like, thing with us is you get what you pay for. And it's like, we have 5-month contracts for a reason. We have 5-month contracts because I know that we can deliver more in 5 months than someone can do in a year. And I am literally ridiculously confident with that in the fitness industry at the moment. So I already undercut in terms of time and investment. It's like, for me, it's like, look, after that 5 months, I'm dropping you down, so it's a scratch on ocean compared to what you're earning at that point, and we're just there to support you. And
Yeah.
but he just had that type of mindset, and he was like, he already wanted to invest into that next thing. And I was like, bro, there is no next thing. It's you've got all the shit you need now. It's all yours from this point, and that's our job, is to deliver, not to kind of come in and take more. Which, because a lot of people, we get that question all the time. Go, what happens after the 5 months? And I'm like, we'll just build a bespoke. We'll just build a bespoke package for you. Or a lot of the time, I'll sometimes turn around to people and go, I don't actually need you to. I'd rather you save your money for a bit and then come back when you start building a team. Or, like, for example, people coming to me with different projects, like Ben's looking at building like a bit of a support course for his clients, or pro coach process, for example, like all these ideas and concepts that I kind of created for these people. Like, when someone gets to a point where you're doing 30, 40, 50 grand a month within coaching, like, it genuinely gets to the point where you're like, I'm not going to say it gets boring. I got so bored of coaching. I started CP education and mentoring because I was like, I've restarted and done multiple PT businesses, multiple online coaching businesses. I worked with a coaching team, and do you know what? I didn't know what I know now about a coaching team, but I found it quite stressful trying to manage the team. I was like, right, fuck it, I'm going to do something different. And that's how I started this new journey here. But in essence, like, the level of growth is continuous. Once you've achieved one thing, it's like, what's next? And the trajectory and where Tristan's at now and what he's achieved so far, he's absolutely fucking frightening, mate. And I just want to say a massive thank you for obviously driving up. It's still going to be around for a bit. We've got a couple more podcasts, and then we're going to hit a Nando's, and then he's off to Scotland for a YouTube video. It says, yeah, so we'll see.
But I got to eat on plan on Nando's.
Yeah. All right, thank you, mate.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Dad.
See you later.